Great to see you again.
Wild brother, man, I'm so grateful that you reached out,
Oh,
brother.
oh, man, I'm grateful that you accepted the invitation. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for coming on again.
Man, I haven't spoken to anyone that's been into breatharianism for a good little while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, man.
Okay, what would you say is the reason for that?
Well, I didn't speak at the festival this year, so I mean, I spoke last year, so it's been a whole year since I was kind of talking about breatharianism. I just stopped talking about breatharianism, and I just sort of started talking about lighter foods. I just kind of shifted my voice. I was off social media for a
Mhm.
while. My site got hacked. I took some time off. I spent some time with my family.
It got hacked?
My page, yes, my Facebook page got hacked.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and I was removed from Facebook, and this was a real big trigger.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So many of my friends actually got their pages taken. There were so many times people, I guess, sent them messages in their DMs. Was it anything like that or was it something different? Yeah.
It was like that. It was like that, and it was like a real sort of. I lost my community, and
Yeah.
it was like such a scary sort of ordeal that it really made me just sort of second guess everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I recall like a lot of like several of my friends here online, they had to start all over, completely like, maybe even 4 or 5, 6 years, of content that they had built, their lives that they had put on here, and it was all gone. Yeah. So yeah, geez, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. This is it. This is what happens. Something like this happens, something happens, we get scared. This is what happens. We withdraw.
What,
We
what
sort
did
of
it,
we squeeze down into a little ball. We're sort of out of our community. We're out of that community, so we're not talking like that anymore. My family's around me, and my friends and people aren't that way. So
say again? The last part got cut off. Yeah.
they're not that way. They're not
Okay.
that way. Like when you have a community online, you have people you can speak to about these things. People in your sort of immediate circle aren't typically on a line with those things. It's I don't think for most people. I think for the general population, kind of the pursuit of this lifestyle kind of separates you from your life.
Hmm. Did you feel like that when you first started, like when you first started embarking down a different path, a more pranic way of living? Did you feel like that? Did you feel that sort of outcast or alienation or kind of, separation from the rest of society?
Tremendously, right? Isn't that a part of like the sort of coming into your own self sort of energy of kind of becoming aware of the inner subtle energies of, if we say prana, I tend to say fascia now. I tend to say more of a therapeutic approach to this, just because society doesn't understand prana, and sometimes when you're talking about prana, okay, so these are some limited beliefs. I'm sort of exposing them. You
Yeah.
like when you talk about prana, sometimes people feel there's a religious or some sort of something that they're afraid of there, and I think there's a spiritual element to breatharianism or exploring life without food that is valuable for everyone, and it's a part of health. Like spirituality is a part of health. Like spirituality is a part of weight loss. It's a part of pain relief. It's spirituality is not absent from any part of you. So like it has to have spirit, but when you start with prana, it almost people think it's like spirit in your face, maybe. I don't know. Like it's like
Yeah,
they put up a roadblock.
right, right. Because where do you feel like that fear surrounding it? Like, where does the fear actually come from, you'd say?
Well, I think all of our fear is coming from within our own selves.
Because when you mention the word and you feel like someone puts up a defense or they get off-putting, just by the mention of something beyond, or something that they can't really grasp or hold on to. Whereas, I was raised in the church and we're always revering up here. We revere up here all the time. And that's something we can't necessarily grasp or hold on to. But, it has a different feeling that is more revealing. So what would you say is kind of that correlation there?
Yeah, I mean the entire like general population lives from an external point of view.
Hmm.
Life is what's happening around me. I am a effect of my life.
Hmm.
And in order to live with less food, it's like I have to flip my life and become cause of my life.
Okay, like I have to take responsibility.
That's full responsibility. Isn't that what that is?
Okay,
Isn't that becoming creator of life, becoming creator of your life? Isn't that becoming cause in your life?
becoming cause. So there's a fear of being accountable or taking responsibility for your life.
Well, I think it's fear that blocks all of us. It's within ourselves, and really to kind of find our way back to our very best. Like the message is within us.
Yeah,
It's like we have to tune within to ourselves
right.
to get it. Like everybody needs to tune into themselves to get it. So, you know, it's just to try to direct people into themselves is what we need. It's like this, I mean, this is the essence of, I say, breatharianism. Is that, listen, people need to learn how to become more self-aware. So I mean, you don't have to call it breatharianism for, say, just because maybe that's too abrupt for the general population. Maybe I need to just sort of talk about this in terms of health and wellness therapy. Like we just need to be a little bit more therapeutic, I think.
I see. I see. Bringing it back to the forefront just to be more mainstream or
Yes,
to have someone.
yes. Like how can I talk to a general person and not alienate them with something that they cannot conceptualize, right?
Exactly. I get what you mean. And I would love to learn too as well, John, like when you were coming more into yourself or before you learned how to come more into yourself. I know that there were certain circumstances that got you out of yourself. And one of them you were talking about when you were 13 that you were bullied or there was a situation that you were picked on that led to so many other things in life. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, what we've all got sort of a story that's playing in the background in our life. It's a limited belief in our life. We all have it. Like we all picked it up between 7 and 14.
Hmm.
So it's within all of us, and it's stuck in our bodies mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Right.
and it needs it's our disease.
Mm.
Every single one of us has our own disease, and you know, our body knows the way to let go of it.
Mm.
But we have to listen to our body.
Right.
And so you know, rather than following something external, I need to sort of reconnect to my internal intuition. I need to connect back to feeling. I mean, before 7, before we started to go to school and learn things, we were completely connected to feeling.
Mm.
We were governed by feeling body.
Right.
And you know, then we started to learn things, and we started to learn the right things and the good things, and we started to identify with being good by thinking in a certain way. We started to think, oh, this is the good way to think. I'm getting smarter and better this way. So we started to identify with the thinker
Mm.
and poo-poo the feeler. But the feeler is where we were.
Mm.
So we know how to come back to feeling ourselves. We've just identified completely with the story that we've got in our life. Like
Right.
this story that we picked up between 7 and 14 when we started getting educated for the first time, and then we got scared by something or someone
Mm-hmm.
at home or at school, or we got hurt emotionally or physically, somebody bullied us,
Yeah.
something happened to us. And you know, for me, along with that, there was like a head injury.
Okay. Okay. So it wasn't just a verbal bullying. This was
There was
physical.
a bully that happened, and that started me into my bodybuilding. But at the same time, I also got hit by a baseball in the head, and I got a head trauma.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there was a couple of things that that sort of got me sort of in a one-track frame of mind. I would say there was a physical blow, there was an emotional blow, and there was a new habit that I started at that time. I started to exercise, and I sort of started to do it obsessively
Right.
because I started it in sort of like a reaction to my life, a reaction to something negative that happened in my life. So I started into a negative sort of tumble. Does that sort of make sense?
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
we all have to unravel our sort of negative role that we've picked up in our life, our misperception of love. Like we all have one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you were working on your body, you said obsessively, due to there was trauma, not only the bullying, the verbal abuse, but also physically that head trauma, from the baseball. And you said that there were stories and narratives that led you to work obsessively on your body, but you're saying that you started it for the wrong reasons. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like the things that we kind of get started for in the first part of our life, you know, this quest in our masculinity at the beginning of our life, we thrust out to try and be more, get more, do more. This is the masculine, the first 40 years. You know, then, you know, beyond 40, beyond 50, you know, we come to the second half of our life. This is the feminine. This is the feeling part of our life where feelings govern. It's no longer like how much bigger your car is or how much bigger your house is. You're not happier.
Right, right,
You don't
right.
feel any happier. It's because it's like you've gone beyond what you can sort of gather in the first half of your life. Unless you switch your thought process, you're going to kind of get pretty much the same thing you got on the first half of your life. You're going to get more of it unless you do something different.
Yeah. Yeah, because when did it come very critical for you to make that switch? Because I remember you
It
saying that
started to come to a point. That's right. You started to see chaos starting to appear in your life. Like You see a breakdown with your health, or you see a breakdown with your career, your wealth, or you see a breakdown with your relationship with your partner or your child or your parent or your sibling or your friend. You see breakdown. You see some sort of a weakening starting to happen in the body starting to become less than you were. You start to notice you're not as mobile. You're tighter. You've got pain in your neck, in your hips. Your posture's changing. Your body fat's climbing. Something needs to change in your life. You can't keep living your life the same way.
Right. Right. Is there anything from that time period, that you are very grateful for and thankful for in terms of what it taught you, even though, it was very damaging, the focus on macronutrients and protein and all sorts of things that you were doing to bulk up to,
What's the
be what
value?
you were.
What's the takeaway? What's the takeaway from it? What's the positive?
What was a positive takeaway that you hold with you? Yeah.
The positive takeaways are movement. Movement is a part of life. It's a part of health. We need it. There must be movement. The discipline,
Right.
routine, consistency. Nutrition is important. Sleep is important. Recovery is important. It's not just how you look. It's how you feel.
Yes.
You are a feeling, thinking, breathing being that has choice.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
you're a thinking, feeling being that's breathing that has a choice to be thinker or feeler in any given moment.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. And if you could touch on this, because it's such a widely debated topic on the power of choice for free will versus determinism, is it written? Is it the writing on the wall? Do I have a choice at all? Or do I actually have this free will that they
I
call?
have complete choice
Right.
and free will, autonomous rule. I can have, not I do have, nobody has.
Oh, wait, can you say that
Everybody
again?
can. Everybody can.
Can you say that again? Yeah, you said everybody can, but it's not that you do, it's that you can.
You can. Nobody's doing it, but everybody can do it.
Okay, I see. Okay. So it's like, yes, I get it. So we
You
have
have
the
to
faculty, we have
attain
the,
it. You have to attain it. It's not a simple thing you just sort of get out of a bubblegum machine. It's not a quick fix answer like this. No, this is a development of yourself. It's
mm-hmm.
awareness of yourself, to see the two sides of yourself and the choice that you have to sort of listen. I can think a thought and I can think another. Obviously, I'm not my
Right.
thoughts. I can feel a thing and act another. Obviously, I'm not a slave to my feeling.
Right.
Oh, so I can be in a feeling and feel this way and then think another way to feel a different way. So this is my choice.
Mm-hmm.
So I can stay stuck or I can choose to move beyond the stuck. But I have to sort of become aware of myself. I'd have to become that aware of myself. And that doesn't happen unless you become still for a
Mm-hmm.
moment. For Christ's sake, who sits still, brother?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. You, just listening to you, John, you remind me of this book. You ever heard of this book by Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul? You ever heard of that?
No.
So you remind me of this book, The Untethered Soul, where it talks about the I am, or the observer, the watcher, the awareness behind the thinker and the feeler and the doer and the risk taker and the action maker and the, you know, all of that stuff, the identification that we have, like who is the
That's
one
right.
who, yeah,
That's right.
go ahead.
This is it. This is it. It's an identification with our personality. We all sort of are stuck in our personality and our story and the reasons why we can't do this or we can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a whole bunch of limiting beliefs, you know, whether they're governed by the church or they're governed by an ism of some other kind.
Okay.
You know, this is the thing is you can get stuck in one ism, you can get stuck in another ism. The problem with any ism is basically when you start saying you're better than anybody else because of your ism.
Right.
This is not compassion or empathy. This is not what the ism's supposed to be about. And so obviously it's not a successful ism, is it?
I see. Yeah. No, I resonate with that. You know, the superiority complex is definitely not one of compassion and love. You know, that's not the
That's
vibration.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. So it goes. So what always sort of happens within the church is always some sort of hypocrisy, and this is what Jesus was talking about. The sort of the story goes, isn't it?
When you said hypocrisy, you know, it actually reminded me of another name because you studied a lot of different people, John, and one of them was Hippocrates. You know, like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and Hippocrates. What were some of the things that you learned from Greek philosophy, from ancient philosophy that kind of factored into your lifestyle?
I learned the alchemy. Learned the alchemy of the original sort of societies. I saw the inner workings of sort of the stars, the Polaris. I mean, did you know that every single thing that's in the universe is circling around Polaris? Did you know that everything is circling around the pole?
Polaris, I'm not familiar. No.
Right. We hear the pole, but you know we don't understand that the North Pole or the pole is actually Polaris. It's a star.
Mm.
It's above the pole. It's actually when you go to the pole and you look straight up. So the star is there and everything is circling around the star. Everything is pulling to the north. So everything in nature has this magnetism that pulls this way.
Okay, you're back. You're back now. Go ahead.
I say it pulls you into a straight line. Everything in the universe that's alive is magnetically pulling toward it. So you can use this leverage to align yourself.
Okay.
This is the magnetic charge that's within your living being. You can align yourself as a living being with your own intent.
So with intention. So
Yeah.
how did you use your intention to start like aligning yourself to this pull?
By you have to hold that intent daily for 365 days.
Was it like a vision that you saw in your
That's
mind?
right. You
Okay.
have to hold that vision in your mind because if your predominant thought creates your reality,
Mm-hmm.
you need to make your governing thought a thought of balance or nature or alignment or so it's like your routine, consistent daily practice needs to come to a right mind. Like if the right mind creates the right result every time. Like if I set myself in right mind every single day, which is a natural balanced mind, if I come into the natural balance of nature,
Mm-hmm.
the sun, the earth, and the time. I mean, we're all here for a lifetime. We're all on different points and continuums along that lifeline.
Mm.
Whether we're in the primary, the beginning of our life where we're sort of masculine, or if we're in the second half of our life, we're in the feminine. Life doesn't really change. All that really changes is the way you think about your life.
Right.
If you continue to think the same way, you'll get more of what you got in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you make a switch in the way that you think, and you start to think now I'm not a result of my external world, but I am the cause and creator of my external world. I do that by managing the things that are coming inside of the being. That means food, drink, and think.
Right. Right.
That's the message that's within the being.
Mm-hmm.
If I
Yeah.
hold a message of balance and alignment with the pole, that the being will write itself in 365 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was I think I recall Muhammad Ali saying that if we think the same at 50 that we thought at 20, then we've wasted 30 years of our life. I think he said something like that.
We have to make a change at some point in our life from the way that the world is lived to the way that you're going to live the world for for the rest of your
Right.
life.
Right. So it's not about how the world is living, it's how you are living the world. I love that.
Yeah, you're living your world. You're living in your world. Everybody living in their own world, right?
Wow. Wow. So John, you know, when you were getting different results, like with the bodybuilding, when you were getting those results from your routines, your rituals and your regimens there, how did you, you know, transfer that energy? How did you alchemize that energy and transmute it into pranic living? When with pranic living, what were the routines, the regimens and rituals that you got results with pranic living?
So, I mean, this is the thing. I broke myself and lost my health by doing the things that the men do in the world, by working too much and pushing too much on my body physically and eating copious amounts of protein as the men. This is how the story goes. This is what we're supposed to do, like push and push and push on our body, push some more and eat more protein. Like this is flesh begats flesh. This is a thought process. Right? So it's a thought process that we've been taught. So, you know, it's a process that we have to sort of unwind ourselves from, and we can do that with sort of movement. We need daily movement because it's the fire and the spark of our breath.
Mm.
And breathing is the sustenance.
Mm.
Right? I mean, without the breath, we all die in minutes. We know this. What really sustains the being? Right? So come to awareness of that daily.
Mm-hmm.
Be conscious of it. I am sustained by the air that I breathe. You know, watch the in-breath and the out-breath today.
Mm-hmm.
Be conscious of your intent and your image or your imagination today.
Yeah.
If you don't grow your imagination today, it will shrink.
Mm.
If you don't grow your thinker today, it will shrink. It will be a little smaller tomorrow.
Okay.
If you make it a little bit bigger today, physically and mentally, if you stretch yourself out a little bit more, physically and mentally today, it'll be a little bit bigger tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes, if you consistently do this and you sort of combine with it the same sort of incremental thought process that, you know, I'm going to get a little bit better each day in every single way.
Right. Right.
Just
So it's like
if I put, please
it's like bench pressing your mental muscles.
imagine
You,
imagination muscle.
Right.
Yes, your imagination muscle.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, that's the muscle I want to stretch. We've lost our imagination, our capacity to sort of grow a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
This is where all things in the physical begin, is in feeling. If we can start to understand that we can grow feeling inside of our body with movement, we can turn on our endocrine function, we can change our brain chemistry, we can change the content that's in our mind,
Mm-hmm.
we can change the feeling that we're creating inside of the body at any given moment. If we sort of get this sort of thought process inside of our mind that we're in control of the ship, you know, that we can sort of do that on a daily basis, physically do that and nutritionally do that,
Mm-hmm.
mentally and emotionally do this. So we sort of come with that plan, that thinker plan. We get up in the morning, we don't feel like it. We got this plan, but we don't feel like it.
Right.
Right. So we're in the feeling. We're in the feeling. So we're not governing, we're not taking government of the thought. Now we're letting the feeling dictate. We're a slave of our feelings. It's like I have to sort of train myself that I can sort of put my thinking cap on
Mm-hmm.
4 days of the week, like at least a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of put my pants on like a little bit more than my skirt.
And I recall you saying something about the neutral or that neutrality point. Like there's a neutral thing.
A
That's
natural balance. This is acceptance. This is
that's
peace. This is a peace. This is a blend of the two sides of myself. Look, mother and father are in me, brother. Mother and father are in you. They're in both
right.
of us. The fight of your mother and father is in you. The fight of my mother and father is in me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to
Mm-hmm.
mend it in me. You have to mend it in
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Like I have to sort of feel that sort of fight inside of myself and sort of go into it and sort of breathe in and out and say, you know, I breathe peace into this.
Yes.
I need
Yes.
to be present with it. I need to breathe joy here.
Yeah. Were there ever any loved ones, you know, family members or people that were close to you that when you got this newfound awareness and you worked with your vehicle a lot differently, were there ever people that were close to you that you wish knew that or had that knowledge that you had gained, but you couldn't do anything, like there was nothing that you could say that they would listen to or
No,
hear you out?
no, this is the thing. It's a personal thing.
Right, right.
It's a personal thing, and you can kind of get stuck in trying to get the other to see it.
And that's impossible, right?
But let me tell you, like it's like do you know the brother that just found Jesus? And he comes back from the church. He just found Jesus. He feels Jesus. He's like, you gotta come to my church. You gotta come to my church. And you're just like, please get off of me.
Yeah, yeah. Like the evangelist or yeah.
Just get off of me. Just get off of me. Just get off of me, brother.
But
Just get off of me, buddy. This is the same thing that happens with any ism. Like once you find it, this is the thing. As soon as you find Jesus, come home, Jesus, come back to Jesus. As soon as you come back to Jesus and you feel the fire again inside of yourself, like this is what I need to do and this is what everybody needs to see. Understand that that is your time and
yeah,
space. It's for you. And it's not for the people around you.
got it. Yeah. So the door is for you to walk through. You can't take anyone with you.
No. It's just for you to go through, and then you need to share it, and you need to kind of make almost new friends because, like, your old friends, they're not gonna understand that side of you. That's like your old friends are just gonna see that is like a pulling of you away from what they know. It's
Yeah.
always going to be perceived as like the thing that stole you away.
Hmm. Yeah.
This is how
I.
everyone that loves you is going to feel as you move into your inner strength
Hmm.
and you stop pulling from strength from them or from outside or from food or like you're not eating with them or you're not connecting with them at this time. If you start living like that, you're going to like everyone around you, you're sort of alienating them.
Right. So, where did you find the balance when it came to still connecting with loved ones, even though you might not have been collecting or connecting on that level? Where did you find the balance for yourself?
When I got shut off and I got off of my community and I lost my community, now I had no one but my family. This is when I really integrated it in a year of like real legitimate. This is when I really recognized the truth. Like I had to take away kind of all of the
Hmm.
external and sort of sit with it's just me and me.
Yeah.
It's just me and who? The all-seeing eye. Who is that behind? That all-seeing eye that's governing everything on Facebook or on who's controlling. It's actually me. It's the judge in me.
Mm.
It's my judge of myself. And when I can actually learn how to see that this is nothing but just a critical eye I have of myself, and it's the same one that I hold over everyone and everything else. This is me, the I.
Okay. Okay.
I don't need to be afraid. I can have peace with this. It's nobody is chasing me.
Mm-mm.
There's nobody trying to do anything to me.
Right.
It's just me
Yeah.
that needs to be chill here. It's humanity. There's one here, one human interacting in a whole bunch of different sort of places, all seeing and feeling the life within themselves,
Right.
all
Yeah.
breathing, just sort of take a different perspective like an eagle up above,
Hmm.
looking down at all those people walking around with a different story, every single one fulfilling a different story in their life.
Yeah.
You can't change any of them. No, but in this vehicle, like out into the community this way globally, there are other souls that are here and ready to receive it. They're not maybe in your right vicinity, but they're out in the global economy.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And that's a global humanity energy that we are all collectively growing on and elevating on and rising on. And this is good for all of humanity.
I
But
agree.
but it's something that every single soul has to come to for themselves, to decide for themselves. Look, I'm choosing for myself to kind of create a different kind of life for myself. It starts today. It begins this way. Every day I got to get up and think and speak in a different way than I used to.
Hmm. Hmm.
To change your mind, that changes your life, isn't it, bro?
Yeah, that book, Brian Tracy, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, and even Dr. Wayne Dyer, like those books literally, I mean, they broke me out of so many mentalities and they changed my whole reality. So, one of the things that while you were speaking, John, that I recall is that when it comes to the ostracization or the alienation from family members, loved ones, personally, my practice practice of not eating was actually a lot less scary for them than or in therapy, you know? Like for some odd reason, I don't know if you have any words to speak on this, but for some reason they would rather me not eat anything at all than to know that I was, you know, drinking my own water. So could you talk about that?
Well, this is another thing, brother. Like, that's another level. Like, the general population is just not really ready to sort of receive that sort of knowledge. And I would sort of look at something about right here and now. If you look at the Buddhist monks right here and now, and I've spoken to some Buddhist monks, and they tell me not everybody here is drinking their urine, although it is in the Buddhist canon, which is like the Buddhist Bible, that urine is something that's here for the people. So you might think that all the monks in the order would do that then, but
Well, I wouldn't.
but they
No.
don't. But they don't. So like not even the monks in the order are in agreement on that. So I tell you, the general population is certainly not going to be in agreement of that. So I choose really not to really put that into the general population, you know, because I just don't think it's ready for it.
What made you ready for it? Like, what made you ready to accept that as a possibility?
I was in pain. Something was wrong. I was having sleep problems and digestive problems and health problems, and, you know, looking for solutions, and found solutions with juicing, and found solutions with um, raw fooding and fruiting, and kind of coming around that lifestyle, breatharianism, fasting. As I came around that lifestyle, I saw in that community there was other things that were going on as well too. And when you see those things, and for whatever reason, it calls to you, and there's something about the life, the life and the cycle of life, and the kind of the reusability of water here on the planet. Like, I mean, every drip of water here on the planet is accounted for, and it never goes away. It's always the same. Like, it goes up, it comes down, it rains down, it falls into the earth. It's in a constant cycle. Like, this is the cycle of life. It's a water cycle.
Hmm.
And, you know, the human has a similar sort of water cycle, and it's kind of becoming aware of the cycles of the human is what we're looking for, the circles or the cycles within the human. This is kind of a helping you, aiding you with awareness of yourself. These
Hmm.
are things that help you to sort of come more aware of yourself.
Okay.
These are things that help you to become more aware of
Hmm.
yourself. So I mean, but not everybody is going to agree with you if you do those things. So I mean, if they find out, I mean, at first, you know, if when people find out about that, they get very judgmental, and they would attack you or consider that you are like sick, right? That you need to. What did your family say to you?
Well, I mean, a lot of them still don't know, you know, like just the ones that are the closest to me, they of course they had their own opinions, and you know, my mom's a doctor, my dad's from the military, both of my parents are retired military. So they both have ideas about what it is, and they have opinions about what it is. But I was never trying to push it on anyone. I was only just, you know, when they asked, I was letting them know, yeah, hey, this is what I'm doing. But it sounds like and just correct me if I'm wrong, John, it sounds like you're saying you purely began for health reasons, like you said, due to the deterioration of your body, and you found that that was actually a solution that you could recycle, that you could loop, that you could use that water.
Well, for whatever reason, when I saw that this was going on, something about this inspired me. Like I would say, if this speaks to you, if that speaks to you, like you'll be drawn to it or you'll be repelled from it. Like this is what sort of happens. Like a vast majority of the population is repelled from that.
Hmm.
So like, if you sort of share that or disclose that, you're going to get that. So expect that. So don't disclose that.
Unless, I guess, unless you're around people who already, are already doing the same thing.
Disclosed. They're disclosed. They're already disclosed. Yes,
Yeah.
but and and I've just sort of lived that quietly for some years because you know I mean, I have children, I have family, and I have children that are of maturity, like independent years, and sort of would feel that if their father was seen or doing something like that, or was supported with something like that, that would be something that would be um, troublesome in their life. Like
Okay.
it, it's it's being thoughtful of
Gotcha.
others to sort of do that quietly. Does that make
Makes sense.
sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
This is the thing. Like when we're in a family, it changes completely the story
Hmm.
that we live in. So time and space
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. The time on the timeline that you're in, whether the first primary part of your life, this is the masculine, or in the second part of your life, this is the feminine. So it depends what part of your life you're in, and if you are um, in a marriage, and the children and the age of the children that they're at, and you're now taking some responsibility as a parent to be here or there on this or that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So then moving off of that topic, yeah, moving off, you mentioned movement. Would there be some movements that you could suggest? Because I love your videos when you're talking about, fit at 50, these videos where you're just working
Movement. I
out, doing
mean,
all
movement,
these
whole body
whole
movement.
body.
Obviously, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga. These are all body weight movement, calisthenics, flexibility, flexion, extension, and rotation of all body parts, and connection to breathing.
Absolutely.
There's got to
Absolutely.
be it's got to be contact to breathing. We have to connect with sustenance today, and we have to set ourselves up with our intentions for the day, and we have to have, I say, a four-corner approach to our intention setting, brother.
Hmm. Just real quick, you were talking about the whole body movement. Is that the primal movements that you did in
I
that one? That
I love primal movements. I love movements like a child. I love movements like this. I love movements of all kinds from a lifetime of sort of experience. I draw on boxing, martial arts, qigong, tai chi,
Mhm.
as well as bodybuilding and strength training and martial arts. I mean, so a collection of movement. It's an eclectic collection of movement for the whole body is what we need. But beyond the movement is really to set the mind right. This is where it begins. Is it begins in mind, and it comes from mind out into body. Sound mind, sound body. We have to begin with right mind daily, and that means like a balanced mind, a mind that's balanced by nature, and that is a mind that begins with gratitude.
Mhm.
All right, a mind that balances itself first with gratefulness for life,
Mhm.
and an in breath and an out breath. So a presence with that, like a presence with gratefulness. for your life, and then to move to a presence with personal approval, brother.
Mm.
We must have personal approval today. If we don't give approval to ourselves, nobody will give it to us, not even our
Yeah.
children, unless we accept it for ourselves. And that means we have to sit with ourselves and say, I am good.
Right.
I am good enough for my life.
Right.
That's received. You're receiving the love of your life today. And then once you've received love for your life today, you have to give it away to your other, to
Mm.
your partner. You have to intend a loving intention to your partner, to your life mate. And then you also have to intend it out to your child or to your friend or to your customer or to the animals or the trees and the mountains and the seas. Like, it's got to be sort of a global thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of global collective thought there for the
Right.
day.
John, thank you for that because, I don't yet have any children of my own. So your perspective is very refreshing for me. Like it's very uplifting, very encouraging, and very empowering, to like if I become a parent, down the line to know these things that you're sharing today is really appreciated. Just want to let you know that.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate kind of getting back out there and talking about the new things that I've found from sort of kind of being away for a little while and coming back with fresh eyes and mature intent.
For sure. For sure. And the message of self-approval is very, very on point. It reminds me of stoicism, just like letting go of the external approval, coming back to internal approval is what's paramount. I just thank you for that reminder.
Yes, brother. We should do something. We should do a webinar or something together where we sort of share something together. And I would love to share some moves. Like, I would love to teach you guys how to open up your top diaphragm of your body. Like, we have mucus stuck in here, and if we can get the mucus and emotion removed from here, and there's some simple maneuvers we can do to get it out of here, and once we start getting it out of here, it'll start coming out of the hips and the backs and the thighs and the shoulders as well too. Like, it's stuck in the fascia and we can get it out, and there's things that we can do along with movement and breathing and intention and vision. We can change our lives.
Absolutely. On all sides, I enjoy the fascia movement right now is like a wave, human garage and
That's
like all
it.
these Gary and all these people doing all these movements and working with the fascia and just, breathing
I would
things
love to
and
do a workshop, man, with you. I would love to do that with you sometime. So, if you're open to discussion of other things we could do together, I would
awesome.
love to do more, man.
Awesome. Well, blessings to you, John. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy time with your family. And yeah, just thank you for coming on. And just you always share from the heart. You always share just from your authenticity. And there's no one like you, brother. It's totally unique. I gotta tell you. Yeah. I gotta tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So till next time. All right. Take care. Take care.
Thank you.